brother from another mothership, man. This man and I go way back. Mr. Joe Keys, late bloomer band, entrepreneur, musical genius, the first to really do the whole P Funk clones thing. It's so good to see you smiling, brother. I love you from the bottom of my heart.
Right
We
back
got
at you, brother.
so and this is part one for everybody out there listening. This is part one. And we're gonna get into part two tomorrow with the band. But this brother and I go back, man, and he's always been kind and a gentle spirit. And I love you for that, man. So how you and your family doing? Tell me.
Hey, everybody's well, man.
Yeah.
Everybody's well. I was just talking about Pops is 89 years old. I went to visit him the other day. You know, he's still touching and pinching and wondering where they at.
Yes. You told me you was going to Jersey to visit him. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody's good, man. Thank God. Everybody's good, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I see that, we're going to get into so much stuff, but I see that now that we're have to make this kind of turn, Otis Hawk was saying, reboot, turn to the side and kind of go in another direction with this virtual thing. I'm proud to be honored to have you on and your band tomorrow for the first time going virtual live. I know it's going to be so tight. And believe me, Funk Music with Zach tomorrow is so proud. Just like I am Funk from the Front Seat to have you today on IBM.TV, brother.
Glad to be here, my man.
So before the show, myself and thank you, Mark, my producer, Mark Lee, today, we were talking about Gil Scott-Heron. And I didn't want to jump ahead, but I just have to a little bit. Your relationship as Gil Scott being a mentor to you. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, man, listen. When I was a kid, everybody, the college circuit was the happening circuit when I was coming up.
Yeah.
And we had Rutgers and Livingston College in New Brunswick, which my sister went to Livingston, God rest her soul. And my hometown mentor, who actually turned me on to Gil Scott-Heron, his name is Gerard Tag Mays. God bless him as also. He's in a nursing home now. But yes, sir. And I would go. I always would listen to records. I was like a DJ when I was 5 years old.
Wow.
And I was always attracted to the flip side music or the people who had something to say. I like the love songs for the pickup thing, for picking up the girls and stuff. The love songs.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But outside of that, I really wanted to hear people who had something to say. So, there was, I had already come up through Malcolm and Martin and Huey and all these strong figures, the Last Poets, all these strong figures.
Oh yeah.
And I went to Livingston at 12 years old to hear Gil Scott-Heron.
Right.
And it changed my whole life, man. I wanted to be like him. I got his records right away. The first two records had just come out. The Bottle album hadn't come out yet. And I started learning that stuff, man. And he spoke to me. Some of his pain spoke to me, and I grew to be a lot like him, and I was on my way through that same. It worried my parents that I liked Gil so much because they saw that I was following that path. And his music just touched me, man. And I was always that kid who wound up backstage. So I wound up meeting him, and he was always astonished at how much I knew his music, and I was so young.
Yeah.
He was always like, "Boy, you know that stuff." There's actually a story of a night here in DC years later. One of my first true Gil Scott-Heron experiences, where he didn't show up to one of his shows. And I took my mom to this show. My mom was still living at the time. I took my mom, my sister, to Blues Alley in Washington, D.C. And Ron Holloway, the saxophone player, was doing the show. And he was playing a bunch of jazz standards and stuff, trying to keep the crowd going. I guess hoping Gil would show up, but he was out with a bad toothache is what they said.
Right.
And, so finally, Ron Holloway says, well, I guess we should play a little bit of Gil since since you guys are here. And my mother stood up and says, "Don't play no Gil. Gil ain't here. You're doing fine. You don't have no singer." And Ron says, "Well, ma'am, because my mother was kind of being like a hacker. What do they call him? A heckler. Like
Heckler.
She was heckling a little bit. Yeah,
Right.
so he was like, well, do you sing? You know, he kind of got on her. She was like, no, but my son know all of it.
Right.
I was like, mommy, shut up, you know, sit down, you know.
Right.
Homeboy was like, yo, do you know the songs? I'm like, well, actually, yeah, I do. Bro, I got up there with Gil Scott Heron's band. And
Wow.
yes, sir. No rehearsal, no nothing. I did 3 numbers, man, and turned that shit out, man.
Wow. Wow.
Gil heard about it. Next time he saw me, he's like, you know, Gil had a little arrogance about it, like, so it was you, huh? Like, yeah,
Right.
you know. He was like, well, if anybody could do it, and it was just an time.
Amen.
Tomorrow, September 20th, 2020. Damn, that's a lot of 20s, huh?
Yo, man.
September 2020 is my 5th anniversary sober. Tomorrow will be 5 years clean from substances, alcohol, and all that stuff. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much.
Congratulations,
yeah,
man.
And it's been a struggle. And my only advice to people is, like, if you didn't get a chance to do cocaine years ago, you missed out.
Yes.
Because it's played out now.
Yes.
When I got involved in that scene, you were the absolute coolest person in the room if you had drugs in your pocket. You were the guy. You're not the guy anymore if you have drugs.
Right.
That has all changed.
Yes.
You know, so that's what I always tell people, man. Sorry, if you didn't get a chance to live in the 70s and 80s, sorry, you missed out. Because it's played out now. It's over.
Yep.
That thing is over. You know, I am not anti catching a buzz for people who want to catch a buzz. I get it. Believe me. But I'm anti cocaine and heroin and all that stuff. You know, you got to draw the line.
I agree.
There has to be some boundaries. And, you know, also I'm 60 years old, so I fall under the category of I'm too old for that shit.
High risk. Like me.
High risk.
I'm 62 right now. Sometimes I'm walking down the stairs and I'm going slow, right? And people are walking around me. They look back at me. I'm like, high risk for fall.
Right. So, you know, so now it's pretty easy now. I'm actually over it. I'm over it. And I attend my support groups and things that I have to do. And I help anybody that I can help.
You will, know? I know.
Yeah, that's just a part of what that is. So I've been gifted to, like I said, my friend who turned me on to the music as I know it is in a nursing home. And a lot of the other ones are dead. So
yes.
So I've been spared for some reason, and I've been blessed with this music thing. So I got to do it, man. It's just all, you know, I have to.
You're a double-edged sword because you have 2 different stories the creator wanted you to tell. You know what I'm saying? You're an inspiration, a model, you know, a person to look up to that has beaten something really hard, because it's hard to do, and I've been there. I know what it's like to be addicted. You know, my thing was pills, you know, Vicodin and all of that stuff because of the surgeries and everything else. And then I threw cocaine on top of that. You know what I mean? And then I wasn't afraid to have a drink now and then. You know what I'm saying? So believe me, brother, I know, and I know what it's like to have to fight and see that man in the mirror.
Yes, sir.
Me personally, I was listening to Larry Graham Mirror album.
Yes, sir.
I looked in the mirror and saw something I did not recognize.
Hey, listen, man, I had Miles Davis tell me in his horn.
Yes.
I tried to put Miles on thinking I could get away, and I heard Miles tell me there's no getting away.
Yes, that's right.
That's what I heard.
Yep.
I don't know what he was playing, but I know what I heard.
Right.
I love it. I know what my interpretation of it was.
There you go. That's what's up. Mr. Joe Keys right now, man, hanging out with us on Funk from the Front Seat. We just getting into it. He's going to be here all weekend long. He's been nice enough to give us some time so we can get into a lot of things. And you have a lot of people commenting, man, telling you congratulations, thumbs up, and all that good stuff, man. And if anybody deserves everything good that's coming, it's you. Because you do so much good with your music, man. So let's get into, you know, you was into Bob Marley a little bit. You got into this thing, and I thought it was just me. And when I met you, I knew we connected. you actually tear up on stage sometimes. I do the same. Tell me about when that funk spirit hits you like that. Tell me about that.
Man, I ain't afraid of no ghosts.
Right. Yep.
And I honestly believe that they visit me when I'm entertaining.
Oh yeah. Oh
I
yeah.
have a poem that I do about my mother, and the reason I do that poem is true. There are times that I feel my mother's been gone since 95, 96, I guess. She's been gone a long time. And it's from time to time, I feel her presence.
Oh yeah.
I know.
Oh yeah.
From time to time. So sometimes when I'm singing these songs, something will hit me, and I'll feel some of my brothers from Paradise Garage and stuff. I'll feel people who passed away. I feel them like next to me. I feel them cheer me on, like sing it, baby. I can hear them. I can hear them saying, And hell, man, I mean, anybody with any feelings gonna shed a tear.
That's right.
I ain't that macho man like that. That I ain't afraid to cry or nothing. I try to hide it a little bit. My dad was. My dad, he walked out the church at his mother's funeral. He cried at his wife's funeral, my mother's funeral. But we come from the macho man era. We are pre-Dr. Phil.
Yes, right. Before all of that. That's right.
Before all that, it wasn't cool to be crying and stuff.
Yep.
A lot of my mentors did. The first couple times I saw Eddie Hazel as a kid at Rutgers College, I saw him playing very emotional on stage. And it just hit me like, wow, this is what this is for. Yes, that's right. That's right. I believe in God, but not for any religious purposes at all.
Same.
I'm sure I believe in God, absolutely. But I believe in God because of my own personal experience, and I feel something godly going on. I don't believe in it be.
And, we are trying to do something different here. So thank you. I appreciate that, bro. That means a lot to me. Now you formed this band in 2009, right? After the Clones of Funk, you did all of that. What made you get back out there and want to do something else with a lot of cats that were a little bit younger than you? Because I know I saw that in your bio.
Older guys are really hard-headed and stuck in their ways.
Good. Thank you for saying that. That's true.
I can give you a long answer or a short answer.
Short answer. I love it because it's true.
They stuck in their ways, man. And they just ain't. I don't know, man. I'm a lot. I'm 6'5". You know what I'm saying? I'm a lot. I'm loud. I'm proud. I'm a lot. So if you got jealousies or any kind of stuff in you, I'm the wrong one to be around.
Exactly.
I'm a big person. So I went through that. I go through that. So something happened where somebody, I forgot who it was, actually mentioned to me, you might want to get you some young folks, man. This area I moved to, man, when I first put this band together, man, my band was all white Jews. And who would have thought? I went to this jam session. Actually, I went to this they have another P-Funk band down here called Let the Monkey Go. Similar to Clones.
Right.
Brother Guy Curtis, who's on some of the Dope Dog album. He toured with George a little bit. He's a part of Benny Cowan and all them guys who played with George for years. He's a part of that family. And I was telling him that I was trying to get some things together. I had started another band. I had met a fellow who passed away, my good friend, one of my best friends ever in life, actually, Bill Morano. He passed away. But I met him through Clones of Funk, and he and I, when finally that Clones era was over with it for whatever reason, and he was like, "Well, Joe, I'm coming with you." So we started this thing. He had a band that was already copywritten called Grilled. So we started a thing called Grilled, but we were still a mess. We was out there, baby, but the music that was coming out of it was lovely. George joined us a couple times, and we had this bass player who was phenomenal. And, but we just couldn't get off the ground because, for abuse reasons, And finally, Guy Curtis says to me, man, you need to come to this jam session we having with Let the Monkey Go. And I meet this young man there. He's like, Joe, there goes your drummer over there. That's who you need. He's a white kid, young. His name's Dave Cavalier. And I introduced myself to him, and he invites me to this jam session that he's throwing every Tuesday at this club called Micho's, right outside here in town. Number young kids, young college kids. Man, I go to this thing, man. These boys is in there jamming. I got up and I was like, oh shit. I put my band together that night.
Right, right.
I want you. And ironically, there was a band at the time called The Rez. They were kids. And Dave was the drummer for The Rez. Ironically, the band that I picked who I thought played together really well turned out to be guys who were all in one band together already.
Okay.
I could feel that gel. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So I invited him over to my house for a rehearsal, and man, it just took off. 6 months later, he was having a debut. And you know, once again, I was still using back then, so I was going through some things. Fortunately, I never got the reputation for not paying anybody. I didn't show up a couple times, but I never got the reputation for not paying anyone. But because of some shady stuff here and there, people were falling out the band. I quit. I do, you know, whatever. And I'd get a gig sometimes and not even know who was going to play.
Yeah.
But the thing was, I'd get a gig and not know who was going to play, but I'd wind up having Norwood or Angelo as guests, you know, or George Clinton or somebody, you know, I'd wind up. So it would always, I could go back. Hell, if you were around, I could have called you. You know what I'm saying?